Watercolor Essentials. In this video, I'm going to highlight a few of the techniques I use to create my watercolor pieces. I'll also be showcasing some supplies I use. So let's dive in. I like to create a border with masking tape, sometimes just a straight 1/4 inch or so, and sometimes more of a jagged edge. It's really up to you, but having tape on your paper also helps to keep it down when applying water to the paper. Sketch out your art in pencil if you wish. Sometimes I use water-resistant ink. The line work helps to keep more of a tight leash on the watercolor application once you apply it. I'm using a ruler because on smaller pieces I can map out where certain items will fall on the page. Once you apply your watercolor paint to the paper, it will be nearly impossible to erase any unwanted pencil lines, so be sure to erase anything you don't wish to see in your final piece. Now for some water. I don't think you need to be fancy about it. I like a whole bunch, and I fill this old mason jar up way to the top. Now let's highlight some of my supplies. Watercolor pencils are a great way to keep your piece tight. They work just like normal colored pencils, but when you apply water to them, they bleed onto the paper in a wash. For brushes, I think any will do. It's always up to the artist. If you have some extra cash to spend, it's always a good idea to get the more expensive stuff. Like, trust me, the expensive stuff lasts longer and it won't fray on you. But it's okay. There's a lot of brushes out there at affordable prices, and it's just about how you use them and how you clean them. My mom got me these as a gift, so I make sure they're always in tip-top shape and cleaned after every use. I got this Angora watercolor pan from Dick Blick, an art supply store in Chicago. These are pretty great and on the medium side as far as price goes. Now this is key. Once you put the watercolor down on paper, it's difficult to get anything back to white. This Liquitex acrylic ink has the right amount of water mixed in to pass as a watercolor layer. It even mixes well with the colors. Arches 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. This stuff is it. So toothy and absorbent. I love this paper. It's also great for masking tape. I mentioned that at the top. It doesn't adhere to the tape in a way that pulls up the paper when you lift the tape off at the end. I sharpen my pencils obsessively, which is bad for the life of my supplies, but something I have to do. It's just a little bit of a obsessive compulsive tick. For some folks, they really like a loose wash when working with watercolors. That's okay for some pieces, but this one I'm trying to keep things really tight. So I'm not going to use a lot of water here. There's no right or wrong. It's just about the style and how you want to play while creating your piece. I'm mixing colors in my pans here to get the correct shade of brown for my building. This Arches paper really takes in the water well, giving me that controlled flow that I like. Around the edges, I use the watercolor pencil to deepen the lines and shadows where I want. Now for a little extra fun. I'm going to put some detail in with colored pencils. I have a Prismacolor 150 pencil set. These have been with me a while, and I love using them with watercolor. I'm also going to be adding some highlights. You remember that Liquitex ink? This is where it comes in handy. After all the watercolor has been put down to paper, you need a little bit of whitewash on the top. Let's switch over to another piece so you can see the reveal with some jagged edges. This piece was created the same way, but I used a different paper than the Arches watercolor paper I showed you. So you'll see a little bit of the paper pick up under the tape. This is a sketchbook drawing I made at one of my favorite restaurants, so the paper was different. And there we have the final piece. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please reach out if you want to know more about anything I covered in this video. Happy painting!